Hi guys, welcome back to the Tofu Chef.
Today we're going to make Mapo Tofu, a signature and probably the most popular Chinese dish around the world.
We believe it is probably on the menu of 90% or more Chinese restaurants overseas.
So many of you may wonder, what is Mapo Tofu really? Why it's called Mapo Tofu and how do you make an authentic one?
As is the case with many legendary dishes such as sushi, pad thai, or lasagna, there doesn't seem to be a standard recipe for Mapo Tofu as Chinese immigrants bring it globally. In order to find out what an authentic Mapo Tofu dish looks like and tastes like, we join a crowd in this tiny yet extremely popular Chinese restaurant in downtown Beijing. Of course, we asked for vegan version.
While we're waiting for the dish to come, let's talk about the history of Mapo Tofu.
Mapo Tofu originated in Chengdu, Sichuan province of southwest China. Back in 1862 of the Qing dynasty, a couple surnamed Chen was running a small eatery near a bridge in North Chengdu. Because of Mrs. Chen's pock-marked face, local customers give her an unpleasant yet intimate nickname, Ma Po, Ma meaning pork and Po meaning elderly woman.
Oil porters crossing the bridge would use their stock to save money and ask her to make them something nice. Chen Mapo, as she came to be known in the vicinity, had her own unique way of cooking tofu, famous for its pleasant look, smell, and taste. Mapo Tofu, with its affordability and tastiness, were liked by all the porters. In 1909, the restaurant's name was changed to Chen Mapo Tofu Restaurant and was listed among the most famous restaurants in the city.
There are 8 characteristics for a well-cooked Mapo Tofu. Tingly or nummy, spicy, hot, aromatic, crispy, tender, umami, and lively. This is a meatless Mapo Tofu made by a Sichuanese restaurant, so it's supposed to be very authentic.
I can't wait to try.
Let's try. It's a good balance of different flavors. But look at the oil.
It's so greasy.
It looks very greasy and very salty actually. It doesn't look super healthy. We wanted to make a healthier vegan version with less oil and less salt. So we are now back in our studio with all the ingredients ready.
So what we have for you today is serving for 1 to 2 person. Now let's get through them one by one.
Let's get started. So the main ingredient today is tofu, of course. Authentic Mapo Tofu typically calls for soft tofu, and that's what we're using today.
When you do grocery shopping for Mapo Tofu, look for soft tofu or firmness level 1 or 2. If you missed our last episode on tofu shopping, feel free to click in the link on the screen for a quick playback.
How to get this block of soft tofu out of the box without breaking it? A simple technique is to gently take off the cover with a knife, put it upside down, and cut off 1 or 2 corners to let in some air. And bravo!
You might wonder, what if soft tofu breaks while cooking? The pro tip is to blanch tofu for 1 or 2 minutes. And don't forget to add salt to the boiling water to help with the solidification. The purpose of this step is A, to reduce the beany smell, and B, to solidify tofu so the large dices don't break easily.
Note that no ice bath is needed. We wanted to minimize movement and keep the tofu warm and in shape. Simply drain the tofu and we are all set.
Since we're making a vegan version without any meat, we're using pressed tofu and shiitake mushroom to add additional texture.
Pressed tofu is when you put a lot of pressure on curds and they get compressed and the texture becomes meat-like.
We use this along with shiitake mushroom to enrich the texture and build flavor profile. It also helps to mimic the meaty texture. Here comes the very powerful and most important condiment in this dish, pixian 豆瓣酱, pixian bean paste. It's originated in Pixian County of Sichuan province and has very strong spicy flavor.
Pixian is a geographical identification for the bean paste, very much like the Bordeaux of the bean paste in China. It's the most important condiment for Mapo Tofu. It not only lends a deep, strong flavor, but also gives an enticingly bold, appetizing red color.
If you can't get pixian 豆瓣酱 or pixian bean paste, you surely can substitute it with a regular bean paste. However, you just can't get the same nutty, earthy, complex umami flavor profile you would otherwise get from pixian 豆瓣酱 due to its long fermentation period under sunlight, typically longer than 3 years.
The other very important condiment is douchi, also known as fermented bean for Mapo Tofu dish. It's a soy-based condiment fermented with enzymes. It's salty, nutty, that goes very well with pixian bean paste.
It is way too chunky as is. We need to mash it. These two guys can be well mixed either on a chopping board or in the pesto.
So next we have Sichuan peppercorn. It's magic seeds and they'll give your tongue a tingling, numbing feel.
In ancient times, doctors prescribed peppercorn as anesthesia. You can get packed or bottled ones in local supermarket or Asian market.
We use grinded chili or chili powder here. If you cannot get grounded chili, sub with minced fresh chili. Make sure you don't use paprika or other types of sweet chili paste.
Last but not least, we have cornstarch.
The common way to use cornstarch in Chinese cooking is to dissolve it in some water and pour over during cooking. The ideal result is to wrap the tofu with cornstarch to protect its moist and texture.
The first step is to lightly roast huajiao or Sichuan peppercorn for the ma, nummy characteristic. Turn to low heat to roast whole peppercorns for about 3 to 5 minutes until the fragrance has started to come out.
There are two ways of grinding, with a pastel or with a rolling pin and wrapper, either in a plastic bag or baking sheet. Grind just as much as you need because grinded peppercorn cannot be kept for too long.
Once all the prep work is done, turn on medium heat, heat the wok or saute pan for 1 or 2 minutes. Ideal temperature for this step is above 150 degrees Celsius or 300 degrees Fahrenheit.
Once the wok is heated, put in vegetable oil and then dice tofu and mushroom for a quick stir fry so that these two guys become crispy. And this process also adds to the aromatic characteristic of Mapo Tofu.
Next, we add in mixed bean paste to create aromatic, umami, hot and spicy flavor profiles. We then add in the magic brothers, equivalent to onion, parsley and carrot in French cooking, garlic and ginger.
After that, we add grinded huajiao and chili to taste. We only added half of what we have prepared for now. Make sure you add little by little so that you don't over-season your dish.
When all these are done, we add water or vegetable stock to just cover the ingredients. This provides a pool for tofu to swim in while sucking in the flavors.
Carefully put in drained tofu dices. Let it stew for 3 to 5 minutes on medium heat. During this process, the tofu is absorbing the flavors we built up earlier in the sauce.
Last step and critical step, thickening the mixture. Pour in the cornstarch liquid in a few batches. Don't pour all in at once, otherwise the mixture will get overly thickened like gel.
Sprinkle with chives for garnishing and add more grinded chili powder to make it more spicy if desired.
Chinese chefs would pour a last spoon of heated oil so that the dish looks shiny and amazingly tasty. But as we are making the healthier version, we would just skip the step. It already looks delicious.
Mapo tofu is such a versatile dish and can pair literally with any carbs like rice or noodles. You can also get creatives for Mapo tofu buns and pizza toppings. Bear in mind that if you're going to cook this for a longer time, then firm tofu is preferred.
Voila! Now you have Mapo tofu over rice.
Let's try it.
I can't wait. You want to get a bit of the Mapo tofu, a bit of the sauce, the mushroom and rice.
Very tasty.
Ooh!
This is very yummy. It's very strong. Guys, if you wanna just, make sure that, especially for first timers, reduce the amount of Sichuan pepper you put in this dish. We only put half of our recipe, so really very yummy.
But it's delicious.
It's very delicious. Yeah, so
Just
add to
more.
taste. To wrap up this episode, here are some Tofu Chef's pro tips to make the dish shine and impress your guest.
First, get the right ingredients: 郫县豆瓣酱、豆豉 and 花椒.
Second, blanch soft tofu before cooking.
Third, be patient when thickening the dish.
Now be confident for a trial in your kitchen and share it with your family or friends. And of course, don't forget to check out the complete recipe in the description below.
You're welcome to leave a comment below and let us know what else you would like to see for a tofu vegan-based dish.
Vegan tofu based dish.
Oh, vegan
next
tofu
time.
based. I definitely get my tongue numb. That's why I'm making.
Yeah, so leave a comments below and let us know. We'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye. We are the